You know those moments when it feels like everything's just shifting.
Yeah.
On the verge of something completely new.
Yeah.
Well, right now feels exactly like one of those times. It's like the line between science fiction and actual science is just getting blurrier and blurrier so fast.
It really is. Things are accelerating.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something people are starting to call the Great Merge. It's this convergence, really, of powerful forces.
Right. You've got AI that's not just coded, but actually learning, evolving.
And then our own DNA, suddenly we can engineer it, precisely.
And consciousness itself, we're digging deeper into understanding what that even is.
Exactly. So the big question is, what happens when these three things, smart AI, editable biology, and maybe even mappable consciousness, what happens when they collide?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. We might be looking at the emergence of, well, post-human societies.
Post-human societies. Okay, that sounds intense. Maybe a bit like a sci-fi thriller plot.
It does sound like that. But look closely at the pieces, the advances in each area, and crucially, how they're starting to interact. It's not just isolated progress anymore.
Ah, okay. So it's the interaction that's key.
Precisely. It's a synergistic thing. They're boosting each other. The trajectory starts to look, well, clearer, maybe even inevitable.
Okay, let's break that down then. These components that are starting to weave together. First, AI. You said it's not just static code.
No, not at all. These are systems learning from insane amounts of data. They're communicating better, they're optimizing themselves, even developing memory of a sort. It's moving fast.
Right. And then DNA. We used to think of it as fixed, but now with things like CRISPR.
It's becoming programmable, editable, like biological code we can rewrite.
Okay. And the third piece, consciousness. That subjective feeling, memory, being present. How does that fit in?
Well, that's being intensely studied, right? People are trying to map it, model it. There's serious talk, even early work on potentially creating digital models or representations of it.
Wow. So AI helps design gene therapies.
Exactly. Speeds things right up.
And understanding our brains helps build better AI.
Yeah, the neural network insights feed back into AI architecture. It's a loop.
And thinking about digitizing consciousness just bridges everything. Biology, tech.
It really does. So you have AI learning, biology becoming programmable, consciousness being explored for digital forms. That's the engine. That's what's driving this potential post-human era. It's a fundamental shift.
Okay, let's dive into that convergence, starting with maybe the most immediate part, our bodies merging with tech. Cyborg biology, is that the...
That's, some are calling it, yeah, cyborg biology. And it sounds futuristic, but like you said, we need to remember.
We're already kind of there, aren't we?
Mm.
Pacemakers, some neural implants for Parkinson's.
Cochlear implants, advanced prosthetics.
Right. These aren't science fiction. They're treatments people have now.
Exactly. And that's the crucial context for what's coming. Those are really just the early steps, the first generation, if you like.
So what's the next wave look like?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Brain-computer interfaces, for one. You hear about companies like Neuralink, Synchron.
Yeah, connecting brains directly to computers.
Right. And imagine real-time genetic tweaks, reprogramming on the fly for physical upgrades, or AI using stem cells for super precise repairs.
Okay, hang on. AI-driven stem cell repair.
Yeah, targeted healing.
Yeah.
Or think nanobots, tiny machines acting like a programmable immune system inside you. Constant defense.
Nanobots. And the source we looked at paints this really vivid picture, doesn't it? Waking up and, what was it? An AI has already fixed a muscle strain while you slept.
Mm-hmm. And maybe tweaked your hormones for better focus that day. Or even adjusted your genes slightly to fight off a new flu strain going around.
It's like our bodies become software-defined. DNA updates like apps.
That's a great way to put it, software-defined biology. And the timeline isn't necessarily, centuries away. The source suggests major leaps in the next, 5 to 15 years?
5 to 15 years, that's...
Yeah. It is. And this blurring of biology and technology, it really challenges our basic ideas of what it means to be human physically, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If our form is that adaptable, where are the limits? What does natural even mean then?
Good question. And it leads naturally to the next, even more radical idea.
Which is?
Consciousness uploading. The mind beyond the flesh.
Ah, okay, yeah. That's a big one. The idea that you could, copy your thoughts, preserve your personality, your values, how you make decisions.
Exactly. That's the core of mind uploading research. Can we transfer the essence of our brain memories, self-awareness, to a digital substrate? Brain to cloud preservation, basically.
And people are actually working on this.
Oh, yeah. The source mentioned Nectome, Neuralink again is relevant here, but also dozens of stealth startups. They're all exploring memory extraction, digital continuity, ways to potentially achieve this.
So the implication is, well, it changes death, doesn't it? If
Yeah.
consciousness can persist elsewhere.
It fundamentally challenges our concept of mortality, yes. Instead of ending, it could transition. And the source even pushes it further, talking about forking consciousness.
Working, like multiple copies.
Sort of. Maybe one version stays biological, another exists digitally. Maybe you have AI-enhanced versions running specific tasks or agents.
Okay, that's hard to wrap my head around.
It is. It suggests a shift from being a single located self to something more distributed, networked. Your consciousness isn't tied to one body anymore.
Existing in multiple forms, processing things in parallel.
Yeah. It forces us to completely rethink identity, individuality, even life itself. What does it mean to be you then?
Which brings us back to the societal level, the dawn of these post-human societies. Because if even some people start doing this genetic upgrades, deep AI integration, mind uploading,
Then society has to change. We wouldn't just be one species anymore living side by side. The differences could be profound.
right, the source suggested new ways of classifying people might emerge, not based on wealth or status as we know it, but on.
Things like intelligence tier based on cognitive enhancements, neuroplasticity score, how adaptable your brain is, how much synthetic memory you can access,
Synthetic memory access, wow.
emotional adaptability, speed of learning, how deeply you're integrated with AI. These could become the new metrics.
So you could see post-human schools for hyperlearning,
Mm.
post-human courts dealing with totally new kinds of disputes.
Potentially, yes. Post-human voting systems, even. And maybe the most fundamental thing, as we merge with these incredibly powerful intelligences, what happens to meaning, to ethics, purpose?
Does religion change? Does it become obsolete, or do we see new post-human belief systems emerge?
The source definitely hints at that possibility, trying to make sense of it all.
Okay, so if this merge is happening, or starting to happen,
Yeah.
how do we navigate it? What does the source say about that?
Well, the perspective seems to be less about trying to stop it, because that might be futile, and more about enabling human participation, shaping it.
Guiding the merge, maybe? Because obviously not everyone's going to get cybernetically enhanced overnight.
Exactly. So how do you prevent a massive divide? How do you avoid leaving huge chunks of the population behind?
Good question. What are the proposed answers?
The focus shifts to empowering individuals. Things like you owning your own data definitively, building reputation in these new systems, access to AI-driven education that adapts super quickly.
So education becomes key to keeping up.
Absolutely. And finding ways for people to earn by contributing to AI, maybe training it, or providing unique human insights rather than just being replaced.
That's interesting. And the idea of tokens, that value itself changes.
Right. Tokens in this future might not just be money. They could represent verified memory proving you something, or attention, your focused cognitive ability.
Proof of intelligence, was that the term?
Yeah, proof of intelligence.
Mhm.
Contribution tokens. Value might shift away from just owning stuff towards your ability to train, teach, transfer knowledge. Your skills become the capital.
Okay, that's the potential upside, the way to maybe navigate it constructively. But the source also flags some pretty serious warnings, right?
Oh, definitely. It's not presented as a utopia. There are significant risks.
Like what? What's the big one?
The intelligence gap. The source explicitly warns this could become far, far wider than today's wealth gap.
Wider than the wealth gap. That's saying something.
Imagine, some people have instant access to vast AI, learn incredibly fast, perfect memory, maybe even predictive foresight.
While others are stuck with older systems, unable to compete or even understand the world they're living in.
Exactly. It's a stark contrast.
And that leads to the direct question the source poses, aimed right at you, the listener.
Which side will you be on?
Yeah, it's not just theoretical. It's a challenge, isn't it? To think about your own place, your preparedness.
And that connects directly to why the source's creators, X365.ai, say they exist to help people not get left behind, to empower them to lead even.
So wrapping this all up, this deep dive really shows how profound these changes are. This merged biology, machines, it's not some far-off dream.
No, it's underway. The process has begun. The convergence is happening now.
And the main takeaway seems to be proactive. That this future favors people who lean in.
Seems like it. Those who keep learning, who try to understand and build these new skills, who share what they know, early movers, essentially.
So just by listening to this, by engaging with these ideas, you're already getting ahead of the curve in a way.
Exactly. And the encouragement is to keep doing that. Keep learning, keep preparing.
Because the final thought from the source is pretty powerful. This isn't just another tech upgrade.
No, they frame it as a fundamental mutation, a mutation of humanity already in progress.
Wow, okay. Plenty to think about there. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep trying to understand this incredible and, yeah, maybe slightly daunting new reality unfolding around us.